Hi, sis.
Where are you? There you are. Good morning.
Morning.
Are we feeling better this morning?
Oh, much. So much so that I haven't changed my hair or my shirt or anything.
Neither have I.
Things are so good. I want them to stay exactly the same. Yeah. Hi, guys. Welcome back. Lesson 295 this morning. The Holy Spirit looks through me today. The Holy Spirit looks through me today. Christ asks that he may use my eyes today and thus redeem the world. He asks this gift that he may offer peace of mind to me and take away all terror and all pain. And as they are removed from me, the dreams that seem to settle on the world are gone. Redemption must be won. As I am saved, the world is saved with me, for all of us must be redeemed together. Fear appears in many different forms, but love is one. My Father, Christ has asked a gift of me, and one I give, that it be given me. Help me to use the eyes of Christ today, and thus allow the Holy Spirit's love to bless all things that I may look upon, that his forgiving love may rest on me. There's a lot in there, isn't there?
There is, and the Holy Spirit looks through me today, right?
Yes.
And he says also here in paragraph 1 that as I am saved, the world is saved with me.
Right.
As I am saved, the world is saved with me. I mean, and he says, for all of us must be redeemed together. I mean, how profound is that? I remember reading this years ago and not really understanding that. And now, from where I'm at now, things have changed so much and healed so profoundly that I can say from my experience that this is absolutely true. What he says here, as I am saved, the world is saved with me. And as a family, we can really feel this together because we're all taking this journey together. And as one of us accepts the atonement truly, then the light that the atonement brings eradicates the darkness of the ego thought system, not just in my mind alone, but in all our minds, right? And particularly when two or more minds join together, you can imagine the holographic effect of the light of the atonement going out to the entire sonship, right? That's what holy relationship does, is it will completely collapse the dream. In one advanced holy relationship would do that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, sis, if it's all right with you, and I'm sure with our family, if I could maybe share a recent experience
Definitely.
that will help to support this particular lesson. And that is that in the neighborhood we live in here, we have, and I think almost everyone has experienced something like this. So that's why I'm using it as an example, is that there in this neighborhood, there is a elderly couple, who live close by, and the husband happens to be one of those that we've all encountered, a cranky old person.
Grumpy old men.
So grumpy. And that's okay. But the part that used to get me, and this is many years before I healed to this extent I am at the moment, is that kind of person really triggered the crap out of me, right? Particularly in this scenario, because this man is married to a very timid, very quiet, very slight, tiny woman who wouldn't say, and this is an Australian term, who wouldn't say shit for a shilling. You get it? Right?
Yes.
Just
yes.
very, very quiet. And so he has these rage outbursts where the entire street can hear the obscenities being yelled at the wife, right? So he's emotionally abusive to her and extremely manipulative and very, very loud. And so the old Nouk, before forgiveness, would have taken sides and would have, in my mind, condemned this guy and at the same time wrap my arms around her because she's the victim and he's the perpetrator.
Sure.
You all know that story, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's look at this from where we're at right now, talking about Daniel and I here. And Daniel, God bless him, has really taken this cantankerous guy under his wing, meaning he doesn't talk to him about all of this. Instead, he just meets the Christ in this guy. And so much so, and I do too, so much so that we're changing the past, because past history in this little neighborhood, going from the people who owned the house we live in, said, watch this guy. He's a nightmare. He's a troublemaker. He will take you for everything you have and blah, 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 right? And we decided not to listen to any of that because that was the ego's fear-mongering, its attack. And instead we decided to look at the Christ in this guy. And we have done so, especially Daniel. Daniel has been amazing. So when we make, Daniel does make jam or, harvest our vegetable garden, he always takes it over to this guy. And the guy's so stunned, but grateful, very, very grateful. So there's been a shift in him. And he is so lovely to us. He's lovely, not to his wife, but he's lovely to us. Just watching all of this.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing, and the point that I want to get to here, is in the past, both Daniel and I would have taken sides with this and seen that there really was a real problem with this emotionally abusive behavior that was going on, right? But there's been a shift. And the shift is that Daniel and I are not triggered by his abusive behavior to his wife. We're not triggered anymore. There's no emotional trigger. And so what I'm getting from this is that if there's no emotional trigger for Daniel or for me with him, then we've done our work, right? We've allowed Holy Spirit to work through us, healing us. Because if I'm triggered by this neighbor's behavior, it's because that trigger is in my mind. So this particular neighbor is showing us that he can act out, and that Daniel and I, to a larger degree, have had that trigger healed in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
So we see it only as a call for love. And therefore we're answering it as love, in forgiveness. So there's been a massive healing in that. It's just been beautiful to see that. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
No, it's beautiful.
So
yeah.
the Holy Spirit looks through me today, because we had an episode last night next door, and not next door, but down in the neighborhood. And Holy Spirit was looking through us at it, and we knew it was healed in our mind. Therefore, it is healing his mind as well, and his wife's as well.
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say there's no way she could be left out of this process.
No, she's right there.
Yeah. Because if you continue to view him like everybody else views him, right? That's teaching him that his behavior is true. Right. And what we want to do is send the message of his absolute innocence to him. And so it's about us having the desire to see only the innocence. Let the Holy Spirit see through me today, minus judgments, minus bodies in the past. There stands the Christ, right? There's my brother, one with me. I want to see that.
Yeah. And two things. I don't know if I'll remember the second one, but the first one is that it's to support yesterday's lesson. My body is a wholly neutral thing. How do you see the body as neutral? Well, and how do we not see our brother as a body? Because every time we're triggered by a brother's behavior or whatever, we're seeing him as a body, and therefore condemning ourselves as a body as well, right? So how do we see him as not a body? Well, we have to see him as sinless. And this is what we're learning with this neighbor down the road.
Yes.
And is to see him as sinless, and therefore that's the healing right there.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And
Jesus says in the Course, don't ask how to see your brother without a body, but ask to see him without any guilt. See him sinless. Yeah.
That's right. And that's how it's done. Do we want to see our brother as sinless? The other thing I was going to say here too, as I was watching this neighbor, and the old ego taking sides, seeing a perpetrator and a victim, husband and wife, right?
Yeah.
And what I and believing that she needed rescuing, and now seeing it from a different perspective, and seeing something entirely different, which is the perpetrator really is the one that needs the help first, not the victim. There are no victims and perpetrators.
I was gonna say I thought it was pretty much an even split.
It is, but you know what? We have to see that the perpetrator is the most difficult one to forgive. So they are the one that needs the help, because it's the perpetrator within me that would see him as a perpetrator. I've got to forgive my own perpetrator, which is me. It's not me. It's the ego. It's the mythical me.
Yes.
See how easy it is to forgive a victim. But how many of us just go, oh yeah, I'm a perpetrator.
Right. There's another thing that really, was a great reminder in this lesson, that as soon as it's healed in my mind, like when my mind is returned to peace, I will look out on a forgiven, changed world, that it is simultaneous, actually. Like there is no world out there. So whatever is healed in my mind is going to have to adjust in my experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has to.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Beautiful. It's all done in our mind.
Yeah. Because as they are removed from me, all the terror and pain is removed from me. The dreams that seem to settle on the world are gone. Redemption must be won. So that's the process. We don't go into the world We don't fix, what seems to be out there, but we only heal it at the level of our mind. And then we may be given some guidance, like maybe brother is, moved to go take jam or an offering over to them, like a love offering, right? But that's not going to arise unless the mind is healed first.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Thank you. Yeah. And it's, I don't know if it's appropriate. Yeah, go on. No, it's probably not. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
We might talk about it tomorrow.
And I love that fear has countless, infinite numbers of different forms that it hides behind, but love is one. Love heals them all. One problem, one solution. Love means I want to see my brother as one with myself. The recognition that we are one. Okay, and there's a footnote in COA, if I could read that, says, quote, love is one here, means that it unites everyone in the experience of salvation. Therefore, fear appears in many different forms. Here must refer to fear as something that separates people into a multitude of highly individual experiences of fear. We see the same idea in the text, which says that fear has many forms, but the content of individual delusions differs greatly. Okay, so that was just what I was saying before. All right.
I love that last piece. The content of individual delusions.
Yeah.
What was the last part?
Fear has many forms, but the content of individual delusions differs greatly. Yeah. And I think that's about our interpretations of everything, which even makes it even more complex.
It's like kids.
Yeah.
A family of 4 kids. And they're grown up. They were raised by the same parents during the same period of time.
Yeah.
And yet all 4 of them have completely different takes on their childhood.
Yes.
One says they had a horrific childhood. The other said it's the best childhood ever.
Yes.
Etc.
Right. Or we can all see the same event and you interview 5 different people who were there, and based on their filters, they're going to give an entirely different spin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So amazing. All right. Okay. We hope that helped. Yeah. The Holy Spirit
looks through me today.
Yeah.
Are you
Thanks.
going to read it with me?
Nope. That's fine. I got it. I'm with you. Yes. All right. Lesson 295. Thanks, family. And we'll see you next time. Bye.